Selena Hernandez and Orlando Perez entered her home, and 20 minutes later, only one of them would come out alive. It's the weekend and it's time to unwind. Selena Hernandez has a very busy and fun day scheduled. The 37-year-old woman from Chicago, Illinois, is spending her Saturday with 3 friends while attending a birthday party. Selena loves birthday parties, and who doesn't? It's a great excuse to get dolled up, dance, and maybe even sing a song or two. Those are the kind of things that Selena really enjoys. She's an artist, after all. Her stage name, Selena Maldonado. After participating in birthday festivities, the blonde bombshell would catch up with a friend over drinks. I could just see her spilling tea, cracking jokes, and sharing a laugh in between sips of a margarita or maybe a few shots of tequila, just living her best life. It's around 5 o'clock in the morning when Selena drops a friend off at home. 30 minutes later, she would meet with a man named Orlando Perez. He's young, really young, 18 years old, barely legal. The young man is still in high school. No one in Selena's life actually knows about this little get-together she's about to have. Even though they live just 4 blocks apart in a suburb in Marquette Park, it's not clear that they've been acquainted for a long period of time. I can't help but notice that the way that they're interacting just screams sneaky link. Orlando is literally trailing behind Selena. He's in absolutely no rush to catch up with her. I personally wouldn't have even known that they were together. I just get the impression that he doesn't want to be seen with her. Whatever the case, once the pair make their way into Selena's basement apartment, what happens next is anyone's guess. Sometime during his stay, Perez felt the need to ask Selena about her gender. "Are you a girl?" he inquires. Selena says that she is trans. Orlando's now in a rush to leave her home. He's pissed. He would later tell police that he was, quote, mad as hell. So mad that he makes his way to her residence 20 minutes later with a handgun and shoots her in the head and back. He leaves her residence a second time, only to return and shoot her some more. This was excessive, obviously. Perez would later state to prosecutors that he couldn't get her image out of his mind, and it bothered him. And that's what made him return to the scene of the crime. Perez even attempted to move Selena's car in order to send police on a wild goose chase, but it didn't work. Neighbors let police access their home surveillance and were able to identify Perez.
At his home were the apparent clothes he had been wearing, and a gun, authorities say, with the same type of bullets used in the shooting.
I found the next bit of information very interesting. Selena actually took footage of Orlando while he was in her washroom, and I'm not sure why that is. It seems strange to just randomly record someone you barely know. Was she going to expose the fact that she may have had an encounter with him? Some trans women have been known to out straight men, for lack of a better term. Was this some sort of evidence that she was storing to blackmail him later? Or did she fear for her safety and wanted proof that he was the last person she was seen with? We'll never know. What we do know is that trans women's murders don't often make national news, but the gruesome nature of Selena's murder was just too horrific to ignore. Sadly, because of Orlando's account, which can't even be confirmed because Selena is clearly not here to tell her side, some people held the victim solely responsible for her own murder. Now, there's absolutely no proof that Selena was a deceptive person. Her social media, which was public at the time, displayed someone who was not only a proud member of the LGBTQ, but also an advocate. Before I go on to my next point, I want to preface by saying that I mean absolutely no disrespect, but the truth is that the average trans woman isn't even in a position to fool or trick anyone. As beautiful and feminine as they may appear, some trans women still possess the mannerisms, tone of voice, and speech of a flamboyant gay man. It's just obvious that they weren't born biological women. I just don't believe that Orlando didn't know that Selena was trans. I think he didn't want others to know that he got down like that. And that's just my opinion. While judgmental people kept the narrative going that trans women are inherently deceptive, leaders in the LGBTQ community mourned her death.
We can't protect ourselves alone. We need the entire community to come together.
There was also a level of disregard when media and Chicago's medical examiner initially reported Selena's murder. Apparently, they used her dead name. That's the name she went by before her transition. I find that shocking because this isn't 1940. How hard could it be to just respect someone's gender identity? If that wasn't bad enough, Selena's own family buried her in Mexico under her dead name. They did not, and it seems like they never had accepted her transition. They never spoke to the media. It's like they were ashamed of her and just wanted to be done with the whole thing. I feel for Selena. I can't even imagine, even in death, not being shown a modicum of respect. It's Tuesday, June 16th, 2020, the day of Orlando's court appearance, and he can be seen smirking and smiling. It's really weird. I don't know if this is a coping mechanism or something, or maybe he isn't taking this seriously. And that may have something to do with a belief a lot of people have that trans panic, similar to gay panic, can be used to lessen a sentence, and that's not going to happen here because it's banned. It's no longer a thing in Illinois. So he's being charged with first-degree murder, and he's looking at least a few decades in prison. His life is ruined and he's smiling. It's ridiculous. On Thursday, September 10th, 2020, Judge Nicholas Cantus sentenced the 20-year-old man to 35 years in prison. I found the story of Selena's murder particularly disturbing, and that's coming from a true crime content creator. That has to mean something. She just seemed like someone who was just trying to make the most of her life, in spite of not having total love and acceptance from her family. It's a shame that there's more information surrounding her death than the life that she lived. Fortunately, her sisters in the LGBTQ and some of us in the general public will make sure that she isn't forgotten because her life mattered. Rest in peace, Selena.